What's good, my YouTube world? It's Queen Wisdom coming live to you. I just wanted to do a video about grieving and the grieving process and keeping your mind powerful if you're grieving anyone. Um, and just staying away from dark souls while you're grieving. A lot of times when you're grieving, you're open. You're like an open wound and your armor is off, and you could possibly introduce demonic energy to your energy. And this comes in a form as something that doesn't look demonic, such as a close family member or a close friend. It comes in disguise, wrapped up in a bow. And if you're grieving anything or anyone, you have to stay away from dark souls because they will try their best to drag you to hell. One thing about all of us, we are all created in the image of. We are all created in the image of greatness. We are all created in the energy of divine energy. And when you are serving the world, such as grieving, you are created in the devil's image. So you attract devils that want to drag you to hell so you can stay there. When you're grieving, your mind is open, your heart is open. It's best to look at grieving or looking at someone that transitioned as their choice. They chose to leave this earth. Um, my father passed away in 2018 in April, and before he passed away, my best friend, teenage childhood friend, was brutally murdered that November 2017. So right before my dad's funeral, I was already grieving a friend of mine who was like family. And when my dad passed, even though it wasn't sudden, it was sudden to me. And he was grieving my grandmother, which I was still grieving at the time. So it was very heartbreaking. I rushed into wanting to save. I thought I could save him. So I wanted to save my grandmother. I wanted to save my uncle. I wanted to save people. And God is a jealous God. I'm going to just state that. God do not need us saving nobody. You don't have to save anybody. But, that's part of the grieving process too, depending on the person you are. You go into this superhero mode and you want to save people. But like superheroes, they are disguised. They don't show their real identity because you have haters. You have people, oh, she's doing this. Oh, she's grieving. Oh, she hasn't been the same since she lost her father. Like, I'm not the same. And how dare you try to wish me to be the same so I can be a people pleaser and please you? I can't be the same. It's not about you. I'm grieving my loss, not your loss. And a lot of people who, when you're grieving, like for me, it was a parent. I was around people who never lost a parent, who had both their mother and father, and whatever relationship they had with their mother and father, that's between them. But you have your father here to mend whatever relationship that you want to mend. I don't. So a lot of people don't have that understanding when you're grieving someone close to you. If they've never grieved anyone in the same boat, and if they cannot make it about them for 1 second, if they cannot give you a hug, if they cannot randomly just let you know that everything is going to be okay, those are not the people to be around while you're grieving. I was grieving. I didn't recognize that I was grieving. I just went straight into work. I worked. That's all I know. I've been born to be a racehorse. So I work, not even really processing the grieving. I didn't have rumors about me that I've done cocaine, never done cocaine a day in my life, that I stole from family members, never stole anything a day in my life from any family member, that I was abusive, never been abusive that I have knowledge of. Most of the stuff that I've done, I stayed in a moral compass because I'm a morale person, and I make sure that it's within the boundaries of God, or at least the 10 Commandments, you know. So I stay in boundaries because of my moral compass of how I was raised and how I grew up. But things do, people do, and things happen. People say things that's not true. It gets to you in a way, like if it was me 10 years ago, I look at them like, cocaine, kill yourself fast. Me grieving, it's like, what? Why would they say that about me? It's like it hit different. And by it being by someone you love, it hits even different. But it's just God exposing your serpents. It's just God exposing demons in your life. It's just God exposing the Lucifers. And I'm created in the image of. So is everyone else and everything else. So if the devil, Lucifer, is created in God's image and you're following Lucifer, you're following the middleman. So you really don't have any power except for the power that the supervisor gives you. I am the child of the boss. I don't even have to do the same workings that you do. So we're not the same. And even though we are all created in his image, you're not aware of that. So you don't have the consciousness to know that you don't have to be jealous of me because God blesses us all accordingly. You don't have to be envious of me because God blesses us accordingly. And if you're paying attention to me, then you're not paying attention to your blessings, and you're making me your excuse to be distracted. So that's the same thing with grieving. You're making someone who transitioned and made a choice to transition to be your distraction. And when you're distracted, here come all the people that I've been praying for you. No, they haven't. They've been seeing you in a dark light. They've been seeing you in a demonic light because they've been waiting for you to come down to their level. You have to be smart. You have to be vigilant. You have to keep your armor on. No weapon formed shall prosper at all unless you give it permission to. And you give weapons, demonic energy, entities, serpents permission when you are grieving, when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're unhappy, when you're not feeling loved, when you feel lonely. You're giving all these entities power to come into your life and drag you to hell. Now you got voices in your head. Now you got things not happening the way you want it to. Now this is this and this and that and that and this. And the people that you so-called blame it on, they think they got power over you. Take back your power. They don't have any power over you. The only power they have is the power of their supervisor. But they forget that your supervisor that job was created through my boss. And my boss is my father. Your boss is my father and my mother. They own this universe. So no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'm out that grieving stage, baby. No fear. And that's how we have to be. You have to be vigilant in this world. Be in this world, but not of this world. That's the main goal. You cannot let a demonic soul that's being possessed by the middleman get to you. But they said this about me, so what? Pray for them. And not pray for them in a way where, because God created all things, even the devil. So God, send your supervisor to go handle them. And let them know who they talking to and playing with. I am a child of God. Let them recognize who I am. Show them my entitlement. So when you're grieving, whatever you do, be around like-minded people, stay sucker-free, and stay away from all dark entities. It could be your siblings. It could be your mama. It could be your daddy. It could be your best friend. It could be the pastor. It could be anybody. If it don't feel right within your body, if they saying stuff that does not feel right within your soul, it's time to let them go. Entities are very beautiful. Demonic entities are so fun. They do everything so fun. They say all the right things. And they know all the information. Yeah, serpentry. They like to infiltrate. If we're not talking the same thing, then you're trying to infiltrate. You're trying to come into my mind and create a community of demonism. And you're rebuked. Because I am connected to the highest power that created this entire universe. So I'm sorry you called me while I was grieving, but I'm out of that now.